Yeah, hi everyone. Good morning, good evening. We'll give a couple of minutes more for others also to join, and then we'll start. Yeah, hi Srinivas. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
We'll wait for a couple of more minutes, Srinivas, and then we'll start today's session.
Sure. Thank you.
Just to check, is it your first session, Srinivas, or you joined the day one session as well?
Yeah, I joined the day one session little
Okay,
late,
okay,
but I got everything.
okay, got it. Maybe in the meantime, uh, if you can share a couple of details about you, like what you do and um, what is your experience in terms of databases and your expectation part of the course, so that I'll also be a little clear of you as well.
Sure. Actually, I'm a PL SQL developer having a little PL SQL developer for more than 20 years.
Okay.
But DBA side, I have very limited knowledge, but I want to now shift to both. Not shift to, but
Mm,
I want both of the knowledge because
kind
now
of. Mm,
now I'm moving to client side where
mm.
to install the Oracle as well as maintain the
Yeah,
DBA.
got it. More of from the operation side, you take care of what you call ownership of the
Yeah,
complete systems,
complete
sort of
DB
thing.
now.
Yeah, got it, got it.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Okay, probably we'll get started. I'll share my screen. Let me know once you're able to see my screen, please.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay, just to Just to recap in terms of the course and the timelines before we started, right? And this is for batch 359 on Oracle DBA from Logic Labs Technologies. And this session for DBA is from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. IST on every weekday, Monday to Friday. And this approximately for about 40 days is what we're expecting the course to be completed in.
Okay.
And this course, the first 3 days, will be an open session for everyone. These are more of
Okay.
like an demo sessions or introduction session sort of thing. And
Mm-hmm.
from day four, which is the actual training start, we will those Zoom links and details will be shared with the registered participants.
Okay.
And okay, so from day one of the registered session, we'll be covering through all the details, starting with getting the how to get the instance, prerequisites, installing the database server, creating the database, creating the instance, and all the details connecting from a client. We would cover all the details, and each step we will cover few configurations, like few configurations part of installation, and then we
Okay.
will change some of the as we go through the course. From the use case perspective, we will go through what are the different folders what being used, and how to make the configuration changes at a later point in your database, how to do that, what you call shutdown, restart, everything. As in we do these changes, we will cover small changes down the line throughout this course.
Okay.
And and day three recording will be shared with the registered participants. And okay, part of this course, all the recordings every day, whatever we go through, will be available to you over the LMS portal. And once you complete the registration, you would have access to the LMS portal, what we call as graphic. And in
Okay.
case you need any support, any issue you face during the course, or you want to talk with the team, please reach out to the support team. They'll are happy to help you out. And in case need any additional assistance sort of thing, they will be able to help you out and guide you accordingly. Okay.
Okay.
So the email ID, contact numbers are provided. The same will be available on the registration or the details for you over the portal as well. And they will be available on Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. IST hours.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm just walking you through over the Logic Labs uh, tech.com portal. And you can see all the courses which have been previously completed, and all the batches which I have gone through. And same thing, you can see the upcoming batches as well as the ongoing current running batches as well.
Okay.
And part of upcoming batches, you can see all the details, the WhatsApp community link where you can join the community. And you can all the what do you call it, any communications related to sessions, any reach out to participants, any information to be shared, etc. This will be shared using the WhatsApp community link with everyone. And the Zoom link, whatever you see right now, this is the demo sessions link. And you would have a separate link for the actual sessions, and which will be shared with the registered participants.
Okay.
And okay, other details of the payment link as well as the course content are also available out here. And you can go through the complete details about the course, uh, all the details, everyday attachments, everything you would have out in the portal. And same thing, all the content, whatever the curriculum, what we are going to cover, part of this course, are also available on the portal itself. So you can go through it. And in case you have any questions, any doubts, or need any additional support or anything, please feel free to reach out to the support team, or you can, or we can discuss that during this call as well.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
So part of this course, the same content, I think we covered this on day one. just again at a high level
Yes, yes.
overview.
Yeah.
And in case anyone missed the day one session, joining the day two for the first time. So one of the common question which we get from developer to admin or admin to develop, people who switch or upskill during the career. So some of the common questions which we get it, and obviously there is thin line of different, because it's not a small system, like it's not a small application, it's a life cycle of the whole product or the application. So eventually, you, even though you work on the same system, your role and responsibilities to handle with respect to the system, its usage, what areas you work with those systems might be little different. So let's say the database developer, you would be doing certain activities from the queries or data modeling activity or the PL SQLs, etc., or the multiple APIs, or lot of things which an application requires from working. Typically, the complete ownership of the functionality is taken care from the development aspect. And typically in case of like complete maintenance of the application, be it availability side, be it backups, be it operations, predominantly from the operations activity, all right? So from the infra side, etc., typically comes under the administrator activities. And from each organization, probably few additional things might be added to developer thing, few additional thing might be added to the administrator thing, or maybe you might have another parallel role on your organization as well, from the operation side, purely from the operations or configuration side as well. So typically those are like other parallel roles which are typically possible in every organization. And the same curriculum, we divide that into five different logical sections. Uh, One on the operating system. So we, depending on what type of system you have access to, if you have a Linux system available with you, we can install Oracle on your Linux machine for your practice and anything whatever you do. And if you have Windows, uh, uh, if you have a Windows machine, yes, um, you can install the Oracle server on the Windows machine as well. Okay, so it's available on both the machines. And for this session or this particular course, whichever machine you have it, I will share the steps, or we will guide you through the process. Typically, we have seen for people who are having the Windows machine, so you can have it on the Windows machine and do it. I will share the steps as we start with the course, with all the links, where to get it and what to do everything with it. And after that, we'll install both the server as well as the client. And we will have a couple of not couple of, maybe a week session, we will cover about the complete work on SQL, writing up the queries, etc. And and then we will work on the complete database architecture side as well, covering both logical space as well as physical space, and how to manage those files, etc., from both physically as well as logically. Other activities from backups, restores, and patching activity, or whatever typically are done, right? And in terms of scheduling activity, in case we have Windows, we can have a Windows scheduler to do it, or we have the DBMS scheduler with the Oracle server to take care of it. We will use DBMS scheduler to run some of those scheduled reports, etc. And in case we have Linux, we can have some of those Linux cron jobs as well to do certain activities on a recurring basis. So we will see these options available in terms of scheduling as well, and in terms of disaster recovery and backup. We'll be covering both how to make sure of take care of the high availability, and in case you are installing the database as an on-premise with your local machine, that is one option. And in parallel, we will show you the options what are available on the OCI as well. So I'll cover you the getting your own account of Oracle, where you can practice these activities on the Oracle database server hosted on the OCI as well. So I'll explain you both the things so that we not sure. Depending on organization scale you work out, some people might work with what you call uh, some people work with the cloud-based databases or the cloud databases. Some people might install Oracle as an on-premise as well. So it is possible. So even it's only the place where you have it, but remaining all the things, some are available as the cloud services already. Some you take care of it explicitly as an on-premise thing. So we will cover around those areas as well as we discuss these activities. And then at the end, working with the support, the funnel, how to get the support identifier and how to access, raise these tickets or follow up with the support team from this from the My Oracle support, and any patches which are released, how to identify those patches for these databases or maybe in applications of Oracle. We will show you all those details as well. So again, depends whether you use a cloud version or an on-premise version, but the concept would remains the same, but only the methodology how it follows, the steps you follow might be little different for it. Okay. Yeah, some of the content of whatever we are discussing we covered in the day one session already, and in case people who missed the day one session joining for day two as the first session, so this is what we are going to cover as a recap of the overall curriculum and the timings of the course, etc. So I'll pause in a minute here. Please let me know in case you have any questions, any doubts, or any clarifications regarding the topics or anything which you were thinking of part of the course, so that I can be make sure that I clarify whether we'll be able to cover anything new or this the time whatever the 40 days would be, we'll be covering only on these topics. So depending on it, I will try to spend some time, because uh, the course whatever we are discussing is kind of considered in general, like all the categories or all the levels of experience people join the courses, so that we don't want to overload it, same time we don't want to underload it, right? So in case we are able to cover most of the concepts and cover most of the assignments or clarifications, we'll try to I'll share some of those new use cases, how to do some of those practices, so that you can practice those activities as well as part of the weekly assignments. So yeah, I'll pause in a minute here. Please feel free to uh, 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 raise any question, any doubt, or any clarification you have. Okay. Okay, no worries. So again, on the operating systems, what we install, there are multiple operating systems we install it, right? So one of that, which is typically people do use it, and Oracle do recommend that, is using Oracle Linux, and it's not mandatory that you're going to use Oracle Linux alone for installing. You can use either on Windows or either on Red Hat Linux, etc. But typically, it's one of the recommendation, because uh, the there are a few differences in terms of how Oracle Linux or how the in general vanilla flavor of Linux or Red Hat Linux works out, and there are a few additional features in terms of how it is built up from the native cloud system, and it's the uh, kernel, what we call Oracle by themselves. It is referred as an unbreakable enterprise kernel, so UEK, which is having some additional enterprise security layers which are added on top of it. In general, of the vanilla flavor which we typically get with Red Hat Linux. Again, so there are a lot of nuts and bolts to discuss with the free versions which we use or the enterprise versions within that. And again, it's it's not that only one is good, other is bad, or depending on your own perceptions or views. Each organization will have its own recommended operating system they use for installing or maintaining of the servers. So yeah, from the Oracle side, this is one of the recommendation. They use it for Oracle Linux, and the cloud databases which we are going to use. As I said, we are going to have the on-premise in our machines for Windows. Typically, if we have Linux, we'll install Linux, and if you have the cloud version, we can use Oracle Linux on the cloud version so that you can see all the different variations of it. And typically most of the teams whatever we use are having these PaaS systems or the cloud systems, so you can see all those OEM features or performance related both at the DB level and the operating system level on the cloud console as well. So we would cover all those topics part of it. Okay. Any questions, any doubts, any clarifications? Okay, so any of you already are well versed with Linux, because obviously Linux is one of the common system what we use in our day-to-day life. You guys are well versed or comfortable with it, or you have any concerns with it? Okay. Okay. Anyone who is like first time user of Linux? Anyone in the group? Feel free to use the chat window. Feel free to unmute it. Okay, I have a question here. What client tools you are going to use? Client tools in the sense, Prabhakar, can you elaborate that, please? Hello. Okay,
Hi.
SQL. Okay, you're referring to SQL developers. Yes,
Yeah, the
we
tools
would
which we are
use.
going to use are only
uh,
this.
Got it, got it. We would use both, because with the local client we install, SQL client will be the native which is available along with installation. Second would be we'll be using SQL Developer as well for connecting running of the queries and all, and from in general for what you call the real-time usage, etc. We can use SQL Developer. That is more from the what you call from the developer perspective. DBS do use it, but maybe not at the extent what a developer might use it. But SQL Developer is available free to use for anyone. So we would use SQL Developer for it. The only reason again, something other applications like Toad, etc., are like little on the enterprise or a paid version. So that's why we cannot cover that in this what you call training sessions. So I hope it answered your question. Okay. Okay, now is cool. Okay. In general, so as we are going to cover more on the databases, so whatever we discuss, right? So it, the topics whatever we discuss in terms of databases or DBA, obviously this is not specific for any particular thing, right? So the learnings whatever we do, all right? So whatever we are going to learn from the uh, yes. And whatever we are going to learn from database, these concepts, if you are well versed in one of the database, maybe SQL Server or maybe Oracle, maybe any of the other server, the activities which you typically do from the database administration side, more or less would be the maybe the tools you might use might differ, but in general the list of activities or tasks any developer would do are more or less the same, from starting from patching, maintenance, upgrades and all. Obviously, depending on the application, depending on the type of database you use, there would be technology differences in terms of how we do and what we do, but the list of activities typically are the same. So anything you learn from the DBA for the Oracle, you can easily map it to any other server. Maybe if you're already well versed with SQL Server, for example, uh, so you can easily understand the activities what we do with Oracle, or you can discuss in terms of your discussions, calls for understanding. You can easily discuss in those technical terms happily, right? So because you can understand what being discussed. Same thing with Oracle DBA as well. Once you have well versed with Oracle DBA, uh, scaling up in other databases will also be easy for you from the functional perspective, or from the overall perspective. Technically, there might be little differences how what uh, technology it's being used or how it is being done. So again, so all the different types of databases, whatever you use, you can easily scale up from any of the what you call database you work with. And typically, I've seen people ones who have started with the SQL Server, or ones who have worked on the Oracle. Part of their role and responsibilities, they do handle the different databases, starting from NoSQL sort of databases, etc. And from the Oracle database management person. Right? So, mm, typically, we are going to discuss all these activities in general, right? So, the utilities, what's been available from the database management system, and we are going to discuss about reporting functionality, how we are going to how what type of reports which are available out of box for anyone who use with Oracle or any database in general, or what is the other flexibility we have to generate any other custom reports, etc. Okay, so eventually reporting is obviously going to be one of the critical requirement for us from the database management system, right? And eventually your security comes in picture, right? So what policies are going to apply for it, right? And how do you take control of the access? So whenever you talk about access, both the things will come in picture. One, the authorization will come in picture. Second, the authentication comes in picture. So any system, whatever you work with, both the things should be covered logically and from the system perspective as well. Authorization, as well as authentication. And eventually, whatever we are storing it, the storage need to be handled, right? So the storage engine need to be taken care accordingly, whether it's a physical form or in logical form. And all these systems, all these databases, we're going to have one or the other form of language to talk with. What we call as a query language. Some might be an object-based query language. Some might be a SQL-based query language. Maybe other might be a different way of talking to it within maybe an API-based language. Eventually, most of these database, any database you work with, uh, eventually for the simplicity of accessing the data, be it an RDBMS, be it a time series database, or be it a spatial database, or be it an NoSQL sort of database, eventually has one or the other form of providing a query or an SQL based interfaces for it. Because SQL is one of the common way of talking with the databases, right? It may not be the native to that database, right? But some of the other way they do provide a SQL interface for it, and it's going to follow the same standards of ANSI standards of SQL, and it's going to be followed across all the databases. The out-of-box functions or implementations of it might be little different. Maybe some additional functionalities, out-of-box functions, what might be little different, and which is going to be available with different databases. Okay. And eventually, your log management will come in picture, and the performance would come in picture. And coming into obviously performance, so multiple things come in picture, right? So maybe the DBA would be the first person. DBA would be the first person who is going to get contacted for performance typically. In general, like it doesn't need to be in what you call in written that DBA should be answering first, but typically DBA would be contacted first for any of the performance, right? So eventually, whether it's an uh, system degradation, or whether it's an DB application degradation, maybe what level of activity, what is being happening at the database at a point of time, eventually he might direct you to different team or development team, or maybe a different team, maybe a network team, maybe infrastructure team who takes care of certain activities, right? So those would be what you call DBA. One of the person would be DBA who will be helping you to do direct that to different teams. Maybe if you reach out to a developer, maybe he might look from his perspective, from the application perspective. From the DBA, he might look into other areas, other segments of the work as well. And with RTMS with data, we are going to discuss all the tables, roles, etc. And because as we talk with Oracle, Oracle nothing but one of the major RDBMS player in the market. And I think most of you already know about these tables sequels already, so I'm not going in detail to those concepts there. But part of the SQL recap for a couple of days, we would cover about those tables, joins, etc. Eventually, putting down, collecting a lot of details, monitoring perspective, you would use it. And people who might know it already, it would be easy. It's a cakewalk for them. In case people who do not know, might be a new thing for them to learn part of this queries. In case they do not know any of the areas of those joins, etc., might be little new concept for them. And we were as we discuss about the Oracle, we would discuss about the Oracle database architecture, where as we work through, uh, uh, each of these concept, we will learn about the different what you call global areas or the work areas, and both the SGA as well as PGA. We're going to discuss about these things, and we're going to discuss about how to maintain these areas, how to allocate the memory, and how to make sure that these are being utilized in the right direction. What are these configurations and what do you call uh, areas which we what do you call, areas which are available for us with the database. And whenever you get it, obviously these factors, uh, whenever you install the database, will be having an optimized or a default configurations or assignments for each of these factors. And based on the use case, how we are going to tackle it, we are going to see how we can improve these spaces, memory allocation or change the allocation per se. And we would see how to handle these log files, where to get it, how to take backups, etc. We're going to discuss all of those things. And part of this what do you call uh, data restoring activity, we would see both the DBA restoring activity as well as the flashback points as well, and or the snapshots as well. So it may not be complete restoration, but maybe a time-based restoration for a particular point of time in your database when the snapshot is available. So you would require typically both of these things from an database side. And as we step into those details, we would learn about how, in general, a query or in general, like how a query would work out, right? So again, uh, members who already have worked on the queries, it would be like a common concept for you or a known activity for you. We would learn about these things when we execute this query. So how this query is getting compiled and which process is going to do what type of activity once it goes into server process, into the private global area or the session area. These gets executed and get the data from the library cache, and part of it, whether it gets to get the data from the file reading activity which is need to be done, or the buffer activity which is already stored in the data, or merging this data based on these two timestamps what is available. We're going to see both of these from the in general query execution perspective. So, and we're going to see how what each file is going to get impacted part of this activity we do, and how the redo log files are going to get impacted, how the pool file is going to impacted with each of this activity. We're going to discuss that in general, and we're going to see the details as well. Okay, so again, from the any system, right, any operating system or any again, database is nothing but a simple application which is installed, right? It's not something different. Just like any other application, it is one application which is installed for it, but it has its own uh, uh, policies. It has its own rules and methodologies, and the way or in the operating system is going to get framed, how it's going to be utilized for any of the files, right? How these blocks are created, how these segments are created in operating system level. And when you open a file, it's just a logical representation of a file, right? Internally, you might see just as a file in your folders, etc. But the actual memory which is being used, we wouldn't see those details in the file directly, right? But internally, the operating system takes care of the logical memory usage, and physically we see that as one file. But logically, there are multiple blocks which are associated to that, and multiple blocks together converts that as one file for you. And in terms of Oracle, what we call that as, from the logical perspective, we call that as a table space. And from table space, there are multiple hierarchy out here, which to map it to the operating system block level, we call it as an DB block level or a database block level. And these database block level multiple hierarchies, we have it extents, and then we have it segments, and then we have it as a table space. So any data you create in your table, or the memory which gets available memory to allocated memory or used memory, you're going to uh, see the like how you're going to get impacted, how it's going to affect it based on the segments and extents configuration as well, both at like the DB level, and again at the query level as well, how, based on how we are going to define that logically. So as we see about those table definitions, etc., we would discuss about all these activities per se, and we're going to see how this memory is going to get utilized for that as well. And yeah, I'm showing you like a very high level in terms of all the processes which are involved, right? So just like any operating system, it has multiple background processes to take care of some of those activities. Like I'll maybe like let's say hanged process, which is present in your operating system, or maybe an some process which is not properly terminated, right? So there are the background process or system monitoring activities, just like any application. Even with the database, there are some of those things which comes up along with the installation activity for the server. So that takes care of some of those bookkeeping activity from the database side, like from the process monitoring side, memory management side, and how the checkpoint or the log writer works out. So we are going to see what all these processes as a background process running out in our system, and whenever you face any issue, how you can see which process, whether the process is running fine or not. And in terms of when we do this system shutdown sort of thing or system setup, what are those typical steps, how the files are getting attached, how these files or these systems are getting mounted to your database, how it's going to utilize them to frame the logical view of the database or the instance, right? And we're going to see them all through those details as we start with the installation and a lot of other activities per se. So yeah, it's maybe it's a very high level introduction what we covered part of it, but as we start with the installation, as we start with how we are going to install, how we are going to map it or mount it, we are going to see all those details per se. And these memory segments, whatever we're going to discuss, or background process, whatever you're going to discuss, plays a major or a critical role in your database altogether. Okay. I'll pause in a minute here. Let me know in case any questions, any doubts, any clarifications. Okay. So in starting tomorrow's session, we will I'll share you the prerequisite steps, whatever required for installation, and we're going to see how to install the database and how to again, not everything on one day. We're going to see how to install it and how to access everything. And slowly we're going to learn all the activities like shutting down, changing configurations, how to change the uh, config files, getting that into affected, getting that into effect by steps which are required for restarting. All those details we would discuss them one by one. Okay, I'll pause in a minute here. Please do let me know in case any questions, any doubts, any clarifications, and feel free to go through the portal once again and the course content what we are going to cover, and please reach out to the support team in case you have any query, or reach out to me during the session in case you have any other query. So happy to clarify that and make sure you are confident to register and learn on the Oracle DBA. You see, Shoaib Raghu joined newly. Raghu, Shoaib, or Srinivas, any questions, any clarifications, any doubts? Okay. If no other doubts or questions, probably I'll pause in the session here for today, and we will connect tomorrow, and we will discuss on the prerequisite part for installation, and I'll share these links and steps what needs to be done for installing and other activities.
Hello.
Okay. Hey, hi Shoaib.
Yeah, hi. The same link will be working, or a separate link will be saving for tomorrow?
Demo link, same link
Yeah.
will be working out.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. In case there is any change, team will send the message over the WhatsApp community. You can check out the message in case if there is any change, but the same link should work out.
Okay.
Any other questions, doubts, clarifications? Okay. Okay. If no other questions or doubts, probably we'll pause the session here. We will meet tomorrow, same time for day 3 session, and we're going to discuss on the prerequisite for installation, and I'll share you the links and everything what are required for it. Okay. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a nice day. We'll see you tomorrow again.